right? And how it will work in the hash map, right? We have seen. Today's class, we will see, right, one more important topic, file handling, right? File handling, right? If you want to, right, in real time, most of the times we will read the data from the different types of files, right? And we will write the data. For this, we have to use in the Java, we have a streams. We have a different streams in Java. Right? We have a byte streams and character streams. We have a byte streams and then character streams. There are these two types of streams we will have. Right. Under byte and again we have a input streams. Input streams means to read the data. Right. And output stream. Right. Output stream is to write the data to the file. Similarly, character streams. Right. We will have a character streams. To readers are there, writers are there. To read the data, we have a readers, and to write the data, we have a writer. Right. By streams means what? Like image files, audio files. Right. These are all byte streams. If you want to read the some image files or audio files, we will use a byte stream. Character streams, normal text files. Normal text files, if you want to read it, we will use a right, readers or writers. Character stream classes. Right. Here we have byte streams and character streams. Right. These two types. Each type will have input classes, output classes. To read, we will use input. To write, we will use the output. Right. Something now. Right. There are lots of classes we have in the Java. Right. Right. We have a file reader. First, we will see about the just a file class. First, we will see about the file class. Right, file class, by using the file class, suppose if you want to, all right, basic thing, if you want to create some file, or you want to create some directory, or if you want to write write basic things, basic operations, if you want to do, we will use the file object. Right, just let me quickly create a package. Where is that? Okay, package. Okay, file handling. Okay, fine. We'll create a right, class file example. Right. Right. If you want to create any file or delete any file, right, or any directory, right, we have to create the file object. Right. File object. Right. What file object will take? File object can take what is the path. Right. That means creates a new file instance by converting the given path string into abstract path. If the given string is empty, then the result will be empty path. Right. Just it will try to create it, or if it is there, it will ignore it. If it is there, how to verify? First of all, whether file is there or not. Right. See, file object dot exists. That means it is already exists. So I don't want to create it. All right. I don't want to create it. If it is not there, just create it. Right. Just create the file. Right. But where we are creating, currently we are not creating anything, just verifying whether it is exists or not. We'll see. Creation will see. Just here we are verifying whether the file exists or not. Right, file is not exist because it is some random path we have given, some dummy name we have given. Right, suppose if it is not exist, I want to create it. Right, I want to create it. File does not exist, just we will create it. Right, it will throw a checked exception. While creating the file, it may throw checked exception. How to handle checked exception? Either by throws keyword or surround with a try catch. Just I will use the, it will throw IO exception. Right. Now just will run it now. Right. The system cannot find the specified path. Right. If you want to create the path, if you want to create the file, first this path should exist. Right. This path should exist. Otherwise, it will not create. Right. Let me give some, write some dummy path. Okay. F directory. Okay. We'll provide F directory, some example.txt in the sorry, F directory. Right. Let's see. Now file is not exist. It is created. If we go come here, see example.txt file. It is created. Right. If now again if I execute it, what it will say? File is exists. Right. File is exists. Right. Like this we can handle. Right. How to before creating we can verify whether it exists or not. Suppose. Right. If we want to create the directory, suppose. Right. Suppose I want to create the directory. Let's see. Here also just first we will verify whether it is exists or not. In F directory example dir is there any folder or not. If it is there, just exists it. Get absolute path means it will print the path where it is there, where it is available. Right. Get absolute path means it will print the path of it. Right. If you want to get right, just name, right, get name. Right. It will print the just name of the name of it. Right. There are multiple methods. Just we can explore those things. Right. See, there are a lot of methods are there. Mostly we will use get name and a get absolute path. These two things only. Just write system.out.println. Okay, fine. Let me execute. Alright, is directory not exists? It is created a directory. Let's see example dir. It is created directory. Now if we try to execute it again, it will say that because we are verifying whether it is exists or not, it will say already exists. Right, some basic operations we can do by using the file object. Right, whether a file is exists, where a directory exists. If not, we can create the file. Right, and then directory also we can create it. And we can get the name of the file or name of the directory by using getName method. And if you want to get the absolute path where the file will be, where the directory will be, then we can get absolute path. Right. This is about the file object. Right. Next coming to our FileReader object. First we will see. Right. By stream we have character stream. We have character stream. We'll start with the character stream. Right. For character stream, if you want to read some text files, we have a file reader. If you want to read file reader, if you want to write the data, file writer. If you want to write the data, file writer. Let's just will quickly create file writer example. Right. How to create the file writer object? Sorry. File writer. This one java.io package. It is inside a java.io package. Right. File writer. We can use new file writer. Right. Then it will throw a checked exception. We have to handle it. Right. Here we are passing two arguments. Right. Write the data to example.txt and then append. Right. If already file is exists, You want to append to the existing data or not? If I kept as a false, it will override old data, it will delete, it will freshly write it. If you kept it true, it will overwrite, append it to the existing one. Right, we have a method, write method, right? We can write the data to the file. Right, we have learned whenever, right, we are writing data files concept, we have to close the streams. These are all stream objects. That means it will establish a connection to the file. Right, and then we have to close it. Otherwise, what will happen? It will still open. All right, see, FileWriter class is extends output stream writer class. Stream writer class again extends writer abstract class. Right, this is the parent class for all the writer classes. Right, it is an abstract class. Then it has output stream writer, then file writer. Okay, fine. Write a file writer. Then we have to close it. Right? How to close it? We can use the try catch finally. Right? To finally block, we can close it. But in exception handling, we have learned one more concept. Right? To close the streams, to close the file objects. How to close it? Right? We can use the try with resource statement. Right? Try with resource statement. Okay, just we can keep it inside a code, inside try with resource statement, try, right? We will open the open close parenthesis. Inside we have to create the object, right? And then we can write the date, right? It will close automatically. See here, in this case, we don't require any catch block or finally block also. It is not mandatory, right? Previously while learning, if we without right only try block, we cannot write. Either we have to write catch or finally. But in this case, try with resource, we can write only try. It will close automatically file object, file writer object. Right. I think F drive we have already write example.txt file. Example, right? Then we'll see just we'll execute and see whether it is right. We can keep some message successfully written or something. If you open it, see data is written to the file. Data is written to the file. Right now, suppose I want to read it. Right, this is a file writer class. Right. Similarly, for reading, we will have a file reader. Right, file reader. We have a file reader. Right, just remove this. Right, file reader. Okay, we can do the new file reader object. Create the file reader object. Just we have to give the read. That's it. Right, how it will read? It will read actually one by one character. One by one character. Right, will here. Right, we are appending to string builder. Just will remove this also. Sample code we will write. Okay. Just dot out dot println see. That's it. Okay, fine. Okay, what we are doing here, open the resource, right, file reader object, provide the path from which file we want to read the data. Here, writer object as a read method. What it will do, it will read one by one character. It will read one by one character in the form of ASCII code. Right, each character will have some ASCII code. It will written in the form of a ASCII code. Right, we are assigning, that's why we are assigning to int. We are assigning it to int until we are reading until while not equal to -1. If it is -1 means that reaches a end of file. If it reaches a end of file, it will return -1. Otherwise, it will read single, right, one by one character. And again, see that integer ASCII code we are converting back to character by typecasting. By typecasting that ASCII code, we are converting back to character. Alright, just we will print and see. Let's see. Same data. Same data is printed. Right. Just we have to create the object of FileReader and FileReader object. Right. We have to create it, not writer. Just will change FileReader. That FileReader object. Then read. Right. There is a read method to reads a single character. It will read the single character. It will read one by one character in the form of ASCII code. Right, that's why we have taken one int character. We are assigning that whatever it is returning to inside while loop itself, we are assigning. We are reading until -1. -1 means if it reaches end of the file, it will return -1. Again, we are converting that ASCII code to character and printing. Right? These two FileReader are used to for character streams. Similarly, we have a BufferedReader. Sometimes what will happen, suppose if it is a very large file, right? It is a very simple file. Now we cannot observe any much difference. It will be very fast only. But if we have a 1 MB, 2 MB, 10 MB, right, files will be there, right? Suppose you are working in a real time in the server logs, log files will be there. We want to read something, we want to do some manipulations on that code, right? It will be a MBs, 1 MB, 10 MB, right? In that case, what will happen? Right, it will read at a time. FileReader will read at a time file data to the memory. If it is a large file, right, what will happen? Our right temporary memory will have right full. It will become a full, and our system will right program will struck it, or it will go execute slowly, or our system will hang sometimes. Right, to avoid that one, we will go with a that buffer classes. BufferedReader. What actually it will do BufferedReader and BufferedWriter? It will read not entire file. It will not at a time one into the memory. It will not load at a time entire data into memory. It will read right some data buffer data. That means it will follow the buffering concept. That means it will read maybe 10 KB, 100 KB, right? Based on size, it will have a, we will see that what is the size of it. Right, that size, but what suppose if it has a 10 KB size, it will load first 10 KB only. It will print the data again 10 KB, right? It will right like that. It will go multiple times to read the file. But here FileWriter at a time, one time only. It is very fast. That's why. But for larger files, we will get the issues if we load the entire file at a time. Right. That's why buffering, we will read chunks of data. That means 10 KB, 10 KB, or 100 KB, 100 KB data at a time. So that it will be very fast to read the data very fast. We will not see any issues with the while reading also. Let's just quickly create that. At BufferedWriter. Right, same thing. Right, same thing we can use. BufferedWriter. It is in IO package, right? We can also give like this names. If multiple packages have same name, suppose multiple packages have same name, we can differentiate by providing package itself. But currently we don't require here. Just import it. Right, import java.io. Right, buffer writer, what it will do? Actually, it will not, right, it will create a buffer. That's it. Buffer for character string. Actually, it will not do the read operation. Who will do the read operation? File writer only. File writer only read the operation. Right, for buffer writer, we have to pass in the constructor. See, it will take the writer object. It will take the writer object and it will have a initial buffer size. What is the initial buffer size? Default 512 KB. 512 KB default buffer size. Right. If we want to change, we can change that. Right. Buffer reader, it will provide a buffer. That's it. But actual operation will taken by file writer. File writer will read the data from the file and it will give it to buffer writer. Then buffer writer, what it will do? It will again read the data from the memory by 512 KB every time. So that our reading will be very fast. We will not see any issues while writing the data also, right? While writing the data also, same thing. That same file we are writing. So suppose if we have given example one, that let's see, it will create a new file and it will write the data. It will write the data. Right. Only difference between reader and right, file writer and buffer writer. Buffer writer will provide the buffer. That's it. Similarly, file reader also. Right. Similarly, buffer reader. Already buffer reader. Okay. Right. Buffered reader. Buffered. Buffered reader. Right. Buffer reader again will take a file reader object. Again, new buffer reader. Again, we will create the object of the file reader only. Right. We can create file reader object again. Right. It will also do the same. Right. If we have a larger files, we will use the buffer writer and buffer reader. If we have small files, means we'll go with the file reader and file writer concept. Right, these are the character streams. Right, of character streams. Similarly, we have a byte streams. Right, byte streams. That means if we want to read the image files, audio files, right, we will go for byte streams. We can also read character, right, but it will convert here. We will read a character string. Characters will convert to ASCII code, and we are again doing what we are doing here. We are convert. See here, while reading, it is converting to ASCII code. Again, we are converting to character. But in the buffer readers also, this by using byte streams also, we can read the text files, but in the form of bytes. It will read in the form of bytes. All right. Currently, we'll see only these only, not image audio files. But if you have requirement, image file reading, audio files, right? Then we will go with the byte streams, not with the character streams. Right? What are the byte streams? Input stream. We have a okay input stream, file input stream, file output stream. Right? File input stream example. Create the file input stream equal to new file input stream. Right, it will also all the file. If you are doing with the file handling means checked exception, it will throw. We have to handle it. We have to do the right try with the resource statement only. Right, it is the always advised to go with try with the resource, not to try with the finally. Try catch finally. Try with the resource only. Right, file input stream. file input stream, then it will also read the one by one, right? It will also read the file input stream also one by one character only. Right, file output stream, this one file input stream. Right, but actually it will convert to a read method, reads the byte data from the input stream. This method blocks if no put data available. Right, it will read the byte in the form of byte, and then it will convert back to char. Right, if you see the read here, reads in the form of a character string. It will read in the read character stream. It is in a byte stream. Right, it will read in the form of bytes. Right, but we will not see that. Right, we have to see internal code, then we'll understand. But basically, it will read the data in the form of bytes. File input stream. Similarly, file output stream also. Right, file output stream also. Just 1 second. Okay, file output stream. Just delete it. Right, file output stream. And then okay, file output stream. Right, if you see this file output stream, which will come from output stream. Right, it is a right output streams class, parent abstract class. All these are abstract classes. Here, whatever right input stream, output stream, reader, writer, these are all abstract classes. These are all parent classes. Right. Here say output stream. These are all abstract class. Output stream. For input stream will be there. For output stream. Right. Just we can take a string data and then just a write method. Right here, see, we are getting the bytes. We are reading in the form of get bytes and then writing the data. Right. We will create an example 2 class. We'll see. Right. It is created example 2 and written the data. Right, but we cannot see internally what it will do. Suppose if you want to debug the code, how to debug? Here we can put the debug point. We can debug, right click, debug as Java application. Right, then here we will come. Right, we can inspect, right click, select this, right click, inspect it. Right, see, it is a byte code. Right, in the form of bytes. Right, in the form of bytes. We cannot understand. Right, these are all right ASCII codes. Right, these are all ASCII codes. We can right. Each character will have one ASCII code that is in the form. Right, we are encode this string into sequence of bytes. Right, it will basically converting into a bytes, and then it will store it in a output will be in the form of characters only. Right, that is file input stream, file output stream, input and output stream. Similarly, we have a buffered input and buffered output. Right, same thing. Whatever we have seen for reader, file reader, right, buffer reader, buffer writer. Right, same thing for buffer input stream. If you want a large files, large image files or audio files will be very large sometimes. Right, then we will go for a buffered input stream, buffered output stream. Just we have to create the object of buffered input stream, pass the input stream as it is. We have to create the file input stream object, pass it. Right, remaining how we are doing here while reading, that is same on. Code will be same only. We will read data, but here it will use a buffering concept. Right, it will here it will load entire data. File input stream, what it will do, it will load the entire data into memory. But here it will take chunks of data. That means 10K, 512 KB of data at a time. One, right? Multiple iterations will be there, right? Iterations will be there, multiple. So, but it will be very fast if it is a very larger files, right? We can read, handle data very fastly. Right? That is the only difference. Buffered input stream, buffered output stream. Right. Write the bytes to a file using buffering concept to optimize the performance. Right. What is the advantages of it? Instead of reading and writing every single byte, it reads and writes a block of byte, minimizing the iteration with the disk. Right. Buffer streams significantly improve the performance of reading and writing, especially for larger files. We can also specify the buffer size if you want to change it. Right, less CPU and disk IO usage, right? It will use the less CPU usage. CPU usage will be very less, and IO operations, it will be a few IO operations because it has to interact. Right, otherwise what will happen, very large file if you try to load at a time, our CPU, right, it will consume, right, more memory than CPU also, but then it will take some burden to load the file. Sometimes our system will hang. Right. Nowadays, right, we want streams classes are came. Right. If you want to read data to sometimes to the list, right, entire data to I want to read to list object, or I want to right read or create list to file or file to list. Right. We want to do it. Those things we can achieve right by using the there is a one more class called files. One more class called files. Right, we'll see that. Right, files example. Files dot read all lines. Read all lines. Then here it is taking a argument as a right path. Okay, we have to. It is a files is in a right. It is in a NIO package. Right, just what it is saying. Checked exception. Right, it is checked exception. Just handle it. Right, it here it is returning list of string. A list of string. We'll remove this. Right, we are directly printing it instead of what is the return type of it? List of string. It will return each line from the file and it will convert to list object. Right, list of files. Just how to print, just we can take any loop. Right, for each loop or you can use lambda expression or anything. Let's see, it will read line by line. Right, it will read it will convert to file to list of string and we can print it. Sometimes we will get these requirements also. Right, files dot read lines by using simple thing. Files dot read lines, give the path. Right, if you want to write the file, we will also write the file. Right, simple. Files dot write method we have. Right, we can take some content, just erase dot as a list. Right, by using this, right, we can get the list object. Right, we can create a simple list object and then files dot write paths dot get of. Right, this path, where is this path, get of it, and then write to the file. Write the data to the file. Or otherwise, already we have read. Uh, Instead of this, we can also pass this one. Right, already we have a list object. Right, we can read the data and write to some other file. Right, if we go here, right, it is created, see file. Right, whatever we have read the data, we can store it again back. Files dot read lines, it will read all the lines. And then write to write the list of content in the file. Right. These are the different classes we have. Right. Byte stream classes, character stream. Right. To read the character streams, we'll go with the reader and writer. For byte stream, if you want any image or output, right, audio files, then we'll go for byte stream. And one more important thing, scanner class. Right. One more important. Suppose so far we have taken input from the hard coded. We have hard coded the input. Right. I want to read the data from the console. Right. I want to read the data from the console. Right. How we will read it? Right. By using the scanner class. Right. We can read the file also, scanner, but we will not use a scanner in that purpose. Right. A scanner class. Right. See, we can also read the data from the scanner. We can create the object of the class and then view the file. And then while scanner dot as next line, we can print scanner dot next line. We can do it reading also, but mostly we will use for taking the input, right? Taking the input from the how to create. Okay, we'll create scanner system dot in. We are saying take the input from the system. Take the input from the system. System dot in means take the input from the in standard input, right? Suppose. System dot out dot println something. Okay. Enter student name. Okay. Enter student name. Then by using the scanner dot scanner dot next line. That we can take the next line. What it will return? It will return the string. Okay, string student name. Adjust the system dot out dot println. Print the okay. If you want to take more, right? More content. If you want to take, we can use the. We have a scanner here. Scanner class. We have a to read the string next line. To read the int next int. Byte byte. Short short. Right? Long long. Float float. We will have a multiple methods to read the data from the scanner class. Okay, here we are reading the data, student name, right, and printing it, then again age, then just print that. Okay, just we'll execute, run and see, right click, run as application. See, it will stop here. Now we have to provide, otherwise if we don't provide it, it will not go further. Right, we have to enter that something, okay, and then age. Right, it is done, terminated. Right, whenever you want to take right any right data, input data from the console, we will go with the scanner class. Right, we will go with the right. It is suggesting to keep in try with resource. Right, just it is also a like a file object only. Right, just we have to keep it inside try with resource. So automatically it will close. Right, whenever you want to read data from the console, right, then we will go for that scanner class so that we can have a multiple methods if you want to read right to read the integer next line. Either we can use next or next line or boolean byte short int long float anything. And also we can read the data from the by using scanner class also, right? But usually we will not do. Right, we have other classes, mostly we will use those things. Similarly, right, we have a, I think, print writer, right? A print writer to similar to scanner class, we have a print writer to print the data. This is to print the, right, to print the data scanner and then read input. This is the, there is the, okay, scanner to read the data from the file, and print writer one more is, where is that? This, right, print writer. By using the print writer also, we can create the file, but in a formatted way. That these two are used in a formatted way. That means it will, if you want to print in a some formatted data, that some, right, then we will go for a print writer and a scanner also. Right. These are the different right file objects we have. If you want to handle the files, then we can use based on our scenario which one we require. That if we see file object will just to create the file, we can also delete the file. Right, create the file, delete the file, create directory. Right, we can do that using file object, basic operations. If you want to work with the character files, character streams, then we will go for FileReader. If you want to deal with the very larger files, we will go with BufferedReader. And if we want a formatted input and output, then we will go for scanner and the print writer classes. If you want to deal with the binary files, image and audio, FileInputStream, output stream. If you want a very larger files, then we will go for buffered input and output. Files, these things, right, we will use if you want to convert it to list, right, read into entire thing, file data into list, or you want to store list to file, then we'll go for files. Right, files concept. Right, these are the how to handle the files in the Java. Right, fine. Any questions? I think that's it for files. Then next class we'll see, right, functional interfaces. We'll start with the functional interfaces and the streams concepts. Right, if we don't have any questions, right, we are good with this. Right, we'll meet tomorrow then.
Sir, generally, will they ask to write any program on this topic?